This is a show where I want to show you the problems, but I want to show you the answers and heroes and people of courage that are just like you. They're standing up. I want to introduce you to Christy Duffy. She went in and took your 17-year-old daughter, right? She's 17, Chrissy?
That's
okay,
correct.
So, and you saw this sign that said, attention to parents of adolescent children, we're going to need 5 minutes alone with your kid to talk to them without you in the room. And what happened?
I just asked the receptionist if that law or requirement was in place for that visit I was at for that day, and if so, I needed to know how to opt out because I was not prepared to submit my child to that when I wouldn't know what they would be discussing.
Okay.
And when they heard me ask that question, it wasn't received very well.
And what happened?
The receptionist just got the manager of my branch, the doctor's office, and she came around to talk to me to say that this was a new Michigan law for medical access, and it would be required, and that there was no opt-out available.
Okay, so now what I understand...
And at that point, they were ready to...
I'm sorry. At this point, you find out later that they've launched this too soon, but it is coming, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's
so
correct.
now what are you going to do? Because I don't know if you know Justina Pelletier. This is another thing happening in Boston. This is now coming to states all over the country where the government is saying, I'm sorry, I know you're the parent that's cute and everything, but I supersede your right.
You know, when I heard that story about the Pelletiers, I just couldn't believe it. And I felt like, well, there had to be something else. There had to be something behind this. And yet now I go into my office in my little suburb and find that they want to do that to our families as well, potentially.
But Christy,
and I would like to say, too, that...
You're obviously abusing your child. Otherwise, why would you not have a doctor be quiet? You know, they just want a little 5 minutes with them. What are you abusing your child with?
Yes, that is definitely many of the comments that I have gotten on my blog have been about that I'm trying to hide something.
Right. And what is it that you are trying to avoid?
I'm seriously trying to avoid putting any of my children in a position where they'll be told something that would perhaps not follow our worldview as a family, and I'm not afraid to have them hear those things, but I would certainly like to know what they are so that we can talk about them as a family, perhaps afterwards or before. You know, my children aren't sheltered. I just wish people knew my kids, because then they would know that this is absolutely ridiculous to accuse me of either abuse or being a sheltering mom. But they don't know me, and they've just taken the easy route of accusing me of having something to hide.
I find it amazing because this is, I mean, if we don't stand up for you, it's going to be us. We didn't stand up for Justina, the country didn't, and now you're in this situation, and it'll be the next person the next time. We've got to stop this intrusion. What is it that you are prepared to do? I asked the baker here just a minute ago, is he willing to go to jail? Are you willing to go to jail for this?
I would hate to think it would come to that, but this is not just a right as a mom. This is my God-given right to parent my child, and it's my God-given responsibility.
Okay.
So if it were to come to that, I would hate to make that choice, but yes, I absolutely would.
Christy, we pray for you and we'll watch your story. Thank you so much. Please, if you want to get involved and stop this in your area, go to parentalrights.org. Parentalrights.org. It can be stopped. Do it now.